on the phone and said, Daddy, when you come home. He said the first thing that came to his mind,
I'm already there.
I'm already there. Take a look around. Oh, I'm already there.
Being there. Pass it on.
We used to talk about everything. You were my mom, my best friend.
Now, do you even know who my friends are? I know I barely ever talk to you guys, but with the stuff that I have to deal with, sometimes I don't know how.
I still need you. Now, more than ever.
Talking to your teen can be challenging. We'll help you get the conversation started. Call 1-800-448-3000 or visit parenting.org.
Welcome back to this program, Joy in Our Town. I'm your host, Mely de Leon, and we are going to continue speaking to Evangelist Orlando Salinas. He is from the Choose to Change Foundation, and now we are going to talk about Choose to Change prison ministry. So we talked a little bit about the mentoring that he does, and now we're going to talk about the ministry, prison ministry part of his program. So tell me, Orlando, what exactly do you do in your prison ministry?
Well, on a weekly basis, we go into the prison, in our local prison here in Edinburgh.
Okay.
We go to Segovia unit and the Lopez unit, and that's locally. On a weekly basis, we are an official volunteers with, we've teamed up with the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, and we're able to go actually to any prison in Texas. And I'll mention something about that here in a minute. So we go on a weekly basis, and we facilitate classes in there, and we minister one-on-one with these inmates, and challenge them to change their life, to accept Jesus Christ in their life, but also teaching and equipping them through different teachings and that they provide there in the prison, and we facilitate it.
So from the get-go, just kind of walk us through what you do. So let's say I'm in prison, and you come in, and you have your ministry. You offer your service, but I have to want your service, right?
That is
it's
correct.
not something that the prison makes you do.
That's correct.
So you're there on a weekly basis, but if I don't want to go,
You don't have to go.
I don't have to go.
That's correct. They choose to go.
And the reason why I'm saying I'm asking you this is because I would imagine that in order to change, you have to want to change.
That is correct.
You have to want to, and I mean the service is there, and yet I'm sure there's hundreds of them that don't take it, right? They don't take you up on it, unless they want to get out of their little cell possibly and say, okay, this is a chance to get out. But do you work with a bunch of men that maybe don't go through the entire program, and you don't never see a change in them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And one of the things that makes my ministry different in all that I do is that one of the things that it might even be controversial, but I challenge men in a way that I tell them, listen, if you don't want to change, I don't even want to talk to you.
Right, right.
Because I've learned, there's mothers out there, there's families out there, there's children out there that they don't have time for their father or their husband to take time and try to get better. I know it's hard. I know drug addiction is a mess. It's a mess. But what about the children?
Yeah.
And I tell the men, listen, your family doesn't need you next year or next month. They need you now.
Now.
And this is how I challenge men. So when I go in there, I tell them my story. And the first thing I tell them is, this is a choice. You don't have to be here. And in fact, I don't want you here if you don't want to be here.
Right,
You can go back to your cell.
Sure.
But I'm looking for men who are interested in changing their lives. And then I go about teaching them how to do that.
Okay. So now, so once they're outside of prison, where do they go, or where do you meet, and when?
I tell them, if they're in prison, I tell them, if you're from Edinburgh, Texas, or from the Valley, you're going to see me again, because every month I go to the parole office.
Okay.
Where they have a monthly orientation for all the inmates coming out of prison. So we go to the parole office here in Harlingen and in McAllen, Texas.
Okay.
So then I'm able to go into that orientation. I just went yesterday, where I share my story. I invite him to our mentoring class. And I've helped a lot of hundreds of men.
Now, where is it that you meet?
At my church,
Okay.
which is Door Christian Fellowship in McAllen, Texas, which
Okay.
is 900 East Business 83
Okay.
in McAllen,
In
Texas.
McAllen. Awesome.
On a
awesome.
weekly basis, I meet there with my mentoring class at
Now, is there
Thursdays.
And if I'm someone that wants to go to these meetings, I can go. There's no,
Anybody can go.
and you can go as long as you want,
You can go as long as you want.
and maybe become
I'm
a partner with you and try to
That is
them learn
correct.
how to teach others. I
That
would
is correct.
imagine.
We're always learning. We're always growing. We're always teaching something new. Because I believe that we have to be a lifelong learner in order to succeed in life. You have to be.
Yeah. Now let me ask you, Orlando. There's a lot of ministries out there. There's a lot of help out there. You know, for any situation really. Right now, earlier, I was talking to someone about clinics for health clinics. So there's help out there for all of us. But and there's, like I said, there's a lot of ministries. But have you seen results in your ministry?
Oh yes, we've seen some incredible results.
Okay.
And,
Share that with us.
Well, and I know that I believe personally that we're a body of Christ and everybody has their part. You know, you have some great churches out there. You have some great ministries out there.
Right.
Everybody's doing the Salvation Army. Just a lot of things that are happening out there. I saw a need, and I'm a no-nonsense kind of guy.
Okay.
And the men that I work with, and they all, you know, I lead by example.
Good.
And I'm a very disciplined man. I do what I need to do. I read, I study, I pray on a daily basis. You know, so then I teach this to men. So this is not most men are not disciplined. And they need discipline in every area of life. We were talking about that.
Sure.
So, but I've seen some tremendous changes in men. I mean, when you hear them, it's amazing. You know,
Yeah,
the families being restored is my goal.
Yeah.
That's my goal. That's why I work with men. Some people ask me, well, why men? What about women? My answer to that is I always ask women, well, what kind of man would you like? Wouldn't you like a good, respectful, loyal, faithful man?
Yes.
That's why I work
Yeah,
with men.
that's awesome.
I love my wife. I love to help women also, but I can't relate. But I can relate to a man.
And you're actually helping them by helping the
And I
men.
am
by
helping
helping
them,
the men in their
yes.
lives. You're helping them.
That is correct.
You know.
So yes, we have
the
plenty
mothers of those men that you're helping. Also,
In our
so-
churches, in our church, we have ushers, we have leaders, we have Bible assistants, we have all these men that have transformed their life. They're in our church serving.
Awesome. What are your goals for this year?
Well, I'm excited about this year. One, I'm going to write my book.
Oh, good.
So, and
Congratulations.
all the proceeds are going to go to Choose the Change Foundation.
Great.
I am going to open a halfway house because a lot of these men do need some help. So then that's what I'm going to be raising money for this year, for exclusively to open a home.
Oh, wow.
Where some of these guys, they've messed up so much, but they sincerely want to change.
Yes, yes.
And those are the ones I'm trying to catch. And those are the ones that I'm able to help. People that are willing to help themselves.
Right.
I'm not going to put someone off the street that doesn't want to help.
Yeah.
Doesn't want help
No,
into this
you're
home.
wasting your time and your resources and
So that-
efforts.
Because there's men that, you know, they just need a little extra help.
Yes.
So then they'll have a place to stay.
It's that is
That's
amazing.
what- that's the goal
amazing
for
that
this
it's going to
year.
be there. That's
Plus,
awesome.
I'm going to do what I call at least 6 Choose to Change prison invasions. Those are awesome.
Oh, wow.
What I do is I take about 40 or 50 or 60 members of our church or different churches. We have different churches here in the valley, in McAllen, in Westlaco, and Harlingen. And I take a group of church members and we take them into the prison and we have an event.
Oh.
And I have music or rappers, and then I share my story and I do an altar call. And it's an amazing thing. So I'm going to do at least 6 this year in different areas of the state of Texas.
Oh, wow.
So I'm working closely with the state of Texas and the prison system and the parole office. We actually go into the parole office in McAllen, Harlingen, Laredo, Austin, San Antonio. So we're having great impact in the prisons and the people that are on drugs and alcohol.
Wow. Can you talk to us a little bit about the feedback that you get from prisoners that actually go through the program so that hear you when you're in prison, you know, talking to them?
When we go into the prison, we give them an address where they can write to us.
Okay.
And the feedback has been phenomenal. These guys are impacted. You know, some of these guys have never seen or heard of testimonies like myself and the men that I take in there they can relate.
Yeah.
You know, and more men are starting to go into the prisons to do this, but our ministry is really one of a kind, because I'm taking some of these you know, ex-gang members, ex-drug addicts, you know, and they relate so closely. So these guys, when they share their testimonies at these events, so these guys write back, and the testimonies that impact these inmates the most are the testimonies of the wives, the mothers, that share their side of the story. And prisoners have never heard that side of the story.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the biggest impact that we're making.
Wow, because they're so focused in themselves.
That's correct.
In their own, I mean, I think, well, being in prison, I've even heard of people saying, oh, it's easy, it's a good life because they feed me, I don't have to worry about bills, and, you know, I'm in a place where I make friends, and they forget, like you were saying, the needs outside. And then when they come back, they're not equipped. They're
That's
not
correct.
equipped to be that parent or that husband.
That is correct.
What would you say to a mother or a wife that has a loved one in prison?
That there's hope.
I'm so glad that, that you're doing something with your past to bring it to today, to the present, and to teach someone else.
That's correct.
And to tell our audiences that there is hope.
Yes, there is.
That if they have someone in prison, there is hope for them
Yes.
too. I think trust, believe, faith, it has a big part.
Major impact.
And a major impact. I've never had anyone personally, like, firsthand in prison, but I could imagine the struggles. And I'd like to tell our audiences that there is hope. First of all, God is our salvation. God is our hope. There's help out there. Don't feel alone. Don't go at it alone. Trust in the Lord. And I want to also thank you for watching this segment, and we hope to see you again.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily represent those of KLUJ TV or its management.